Yo. The third one back there. And me. Being boy.
How would you like to save a life and prevent something as terrible as death from taking place? Hundreds of lives are taken every day by this one single factor, abortion. I know several families who have participated in adopting children of their own, and the joy and the expressions on the faces of the family members as well as the children who are adopted themselves is just so undeniable and special to me. Tonight it's my goal to persuade you that abortion should never be the way to go when adoption is always a possibility. My three main points tonight are the negative effects of abortion, the biblical cases for life, and the positive elements of adoption. First and foremost, abortion is a terrible thing and should never be thought about doing. People that you guys know that you know who are considering abortion, please tell them that it's a horrible thing and it is murder and you shouldn't consider it. There are absolutely zero benefits to abortion, to the mother herself who aborts the baby, as well obviously as the aborted baby itself. Herbert Root, author of A Matter of Life and Death, has an interesting comment to make about abortion. And before I go any further, I must tell you that this is very graphic and very sad, but it is something that does happen, and we should all know about this. He says, when doctors abort a fetus, they often insert a long needle through the uterine wall, withdraw the embryonic fluid, and replace it with a saline of chemical solution. This kills the baby instantly and brings the woman into hard labor. Sometimes surgeons perform a cesarean and remove the live baby, let it die of sheer neglect. They may suffocate it in a plastic bag or drown it in formaldehyde. This is serious business. Abortion should not be taken lightly. In an article entitled The Physical and Psychological Effects of Abortion, the author tells us of some effects that happen with the woman who actually chooses to have an abortion. Some of these effects that may occur are guilt, anger, anxiety attacks, depression, sleep deprivation, and even hallucinations. Judy Tinney, author of Which is the Best Option, Abortion or Adoption, has this to say: when we abort, we take away that little person's choices. How can we do that to another person? What right do we have to take a life? Let's go to our next point, biblical cases for life. Genesis 1:27 tells us that God created man in his own image. So we are created in the image of God. One of my favorite passages from the Bible, Psalm 129:13 through 15. This is King David speaking to the Lord. He says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth." Let's go to our last point, the positive elements for adoption. There are several positive elements for adoption for both the child as well as the parents and the family members of the adopted child. First, the child, the positive elements for the child, the love and support of parents and family members who are emotionally and financially ready and able to take care of a child. That's one positive element. This is another statistic, greater probability of good educational resources. Another positive element, a desired home and family life for the child itself. And usually, this is not always the case, but most of the time with an adoption, a two-parent home and sometimes a brother or sister. And then for the family themselves, they also have benefits for adoption as well. They receive the blessing and the joy of having a child in their lives. The Bible tells us that children are a gift from God. And also, this is also not always the case, but sometimes a couple is not able to physically have their own child. And if that is the case, then adoption is a great option for a couple like that. So in conclusion, what have we learned? I hope that you've learned tonight that abortion is horrible and should never be attempted at any time. It is a form of murder. Also, the Bible supports life, and God himself is pro-life. And God created people to live and to have healthy lives and not to be killed before they even have a chance of living. And the final factor that you should have learned tonight is adoption truly is the best option and a great alternative to abortion. Thank you very much for listening.
Bravo. That was